Welcome to Shelf Life, and today we're having a conversation with a gentleman who have a whole heap of things on the shelf. We're going to be talking about his book, The Color and Power of Your Thoughts, and his new CD, Lord, I Surrender. And his name is Jermaine Gordon. Jermaine, it's good to have you on Shelf Life, man.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
We're going to talk about your book and we're going to talk about your CD. But first of all, let's talk about you. Who is Jermaine Gordon?
You know, I asked myself that exact question the other day. Jermaine Gordon is a proverbial writer, the son, the eighth son of Beatrice and Ira Gordon.
Oh, does that mean eighth as in you're the baby, or eighth and there's more?
There's more. One more. David, the smallest one.
Big family.
Yes. Jermaine Gordon is a proverbial writer. Some persons refer to me as a true psalmist. I just pick a song out of the atmosphere just like that and sing it verse, chorus, and play it from start to end.
And you play as well?
Yes, I play the piano, I play the flute and the drums.
Wow. Very, very talented. And you're a writer. How long have you been writing?
From about my preteens, while attending Kingston College. Yeah, we had, we started what we called our KC Vibes. It was a newsletter for the school, and I used to submit writings, poetry, that kind of stuff.
Is that why the purple?
I actually love purple.
I love purple. It's my favorite color. It's a very regal color. But your book, The Color and Power of Your Thoughts, is just one of your many writings. I've been on your website and I see you have a lot of inspirational things on your website, a lot of thoughts, a lot of things that you've put there for people to enjoy. What is your mission behind your writing?
I realize that all of us have a purpose within us. And if we can get someone who can ignite that fire or reignite that fire, I look at it like this. It's like your life is a candle. And from time to time, you have struggles keeping that candle against the wind. Right. And there are times when the flame go out, and you just need a word. You just need a little inspiration. You just need a little encouragement to reignite that fire within you. You know, to get that fire out of your belly again. And I believe that that is my role, to help people, everybody that I meet, whether face-to-face or on the internet, to just find that fire within them, you know, so that they may complete that mission that they have been given.
How do you keep the fire within you?
Sometimes I wonder. I really do wonder.
The flame doesn't go out sometimes?
People tell me that I keep going and going. Yes, my flame goes out sometimes. But I find encouragement through my family, my friends, through the Bible, through the Word of God, you know. God just inspires me in different ways. Sometimes I'm going through a hard time, and just an ant carrying a piece of bread.
Man, isn't that something? When you think of how strong ants are, that they are really, I think, like the strongest creature on earth or something that carries some 100 times their weight. And speaking of carrying weight, you know, in this book, I have pulled this book out on many occasions when as you say, I just need that right word. That right word. You are also very active in your church.
Yes, I am. I'm one of the national directors of music for the Church of God of Prophecy in Jamaica and Grand Cayman. I do several other stuff as well.
Tell us about them.
At my local church, I assist with the choir, the worship team. I'm also the parish music director for Kingston and St. Andrew. Wow. I do presentations. I preach as well. I teach. I launched a program about 4 or 5 years ago called Sing Shop, where I go around the island and teach people to sing, because I'm also a vocal coach. I teach persons to sing. And,
when you sleep?
Sometimes my doctor says that he doesn't think that I sleep.
It doesn't sound like you sleep. It sounds like you have a lot going on.
But, you know, one of the good things is that I'm enjoying all of this.
Well, that's important.
It relaxes me. So when I go to sleep, you know, it's just easy.
It's a peaceful sleep. Well, we will certainly get into a conversation about your album, which was just launched. How has it been doing since it's been launched?
Good. The response has been really, really, really good here and overseas.
You were telling me before I'm sorry to jump around like this, but you were telling me before we actually got started.
In December, we actually launched it on radio, and I got response from as far as Italy. Wow. I got response from Kenya. Wow. In Africa. Yeah.
So you, Mr. Jermaine Gordon, who is living the life God laid out for you and the life that you want. Are you married? Are you single?
Yes.
Are you?
I've been married for 7 years now.
Wonderful.
On Christmas morning, we got married, my wife, Melisha. And we have one little son, Joshua.
Oh,
He's 3.
good.
He's also a part of the inspiration.
And part of your ministry, I'm
yes,
sure.
Yes, he is very much a part.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking with Jermaine Gordon. We're talking about his book, The Color and Power of Your Thoughts, and also about his CD. Everything that you can put on a shelf, this gentleman has for you to put on a shelf. We'll be right back after this break. I'm going to have a sip of my Oregano Gold coffee. Shelf Life is brought to you by Jam Copy. Protect, respect, access. Jamaica Business Journal, relevant, insightful, informative. Talawa Magazine for the latest news in culture and the arts. And Bookophilia, live inspired. We're back on Shelf Life, and we're looking through The Color and Power of Your Thoughts, written by Jermaine Gordon. We're sitting here at Bookophilia having a cup of Oregano Gold coffee. And while we're doing that, I flipped through and found a few of my favorite ones in here to talk to you about. Of course, you know, I'm getting a little up in age, so I have to make sure that I tag them. And one of them is music. You're a man of a lot of music. It says, music is an inexhaustible art. The more you have, the more you want. There's always a new sound to be heard from music you have heard many times before. And isn't that the truth?
Yes.
We don't think about it. But if you sit down in the quiet and listen to something, you always hear extra ping.
Yes.
That you, do you find when you're writing your music that, or when you're playing your music, that it's always the same, you stick to what you recorded, or do you add stuff as you feel? I
add stuff as I go along, and every good composer will tell you that unless you get to that place where you say, this is it, you know, you just keep changing and adding and creating.
Do you ever get to that place where you say, this is it?
No, it's hard.
It's funny because I write plays, and my plays have been performed for years at different places by different ministries. They're all Christian plays. And every time that one of my plays is being performed, something is added or something is taken out. So I do understand what you're saying. I love this one. It says, patience. There are two main things in life that teach me the virtue of patience. A child and an old car.
Yes.
Did you have an experience with an old car?
Actually, when I wrote that back in 2003, I didn't have an old car. I didn't own one, and I didn't have a child either. I really just wrote it out of observation and, you know, what I saw happening around me back where I lived in Bull Bay, St. Andrew.
What part of Bull Bay?
9 miles.
Oh, I used to live on Wiki Waki some long time ago and a far, far away in another life. But I've had many old cars,
yes.
So I do understand that, yes, you do learn patience.
Yes.
You learn a lot of other things from an old car too, some of which I don't want to talk about. Thoughts. Poison is in everything, in speech, in drink, and even in your thoughts. Tell me about that one.
Yes. We basically determine where we get by the kind of thinking that our thoughts that we entertain in our minds. Every aspect, there's good and evil, somebody says, in everything. And so poison, mentioning that poison is actually in everything is really just saying that you can get good and evil out of everything, really. Because
the Bible tells us that life and death is in the power of the tongue.
Yes.
So you should speak.
That's right.
Speak life.
That's right.
So you do believe that if we speak positive thoughts, well, speak positive thoughts, but think positive thoughts and speak positively, that positive will happen?
Yes.
What do you say, especially as a man of the cloth? What do you say to somebody who has been saying, yes, my father is going to live, he's going to live, and then he dies?
There is some amount of assurance, even with death. You know, there's comfort. And then there comes a time when it's not just about speaking positively, but accepting certain things. That if you basically sow something, then you reap a particular thing.
Right, you can't sow corn and reap peas. I get that. I had a friend of mine who used to always tell me that you can't sow corn and reap peas. Perception. You know, we always say the grass is green on the other side. We always say that. And he has a very interesting thought about the grass being greener. One reason the grass seems green on the other side is that you're too far away to see the patches.
Yes, yes.
And I can truly say that that is true.
Yes, I love gardening.
Oh, okay. And, what do you garden?
I do several flowers. I'm not really so much into the food as yet. I do a little callaloo, but I love flowers. I love nice lawn, and so quite a bit of the inspiration comes from just sitting outside, talking with the plants, watering them.
Nature.
Yes.
Our lawn at home, if you look at it from the road, beautiful green lawn. If you step inside, you realize that all that beautiful green you're looking at is a whole heap of dollar weeds. So yes, I do.
From a distance.
From a distance, the grass always looks greener. Injustice is something that we are very common in Jamaica.
Yes.
In the world, to be honest with you, injustice. What is considered wrong or right sometimes depends on the person who did it, and that in our society.
Yes, yes. It is unfortunate, sad, that a word such as justice is left to one's opinion or one's preference or favorites or prejudice, you know. And it's true. We apply the rule of law depending on our connection with the person accused, etc.
Yeah, in a lot of cases, the inner city guy is treated completely different from the uptown man who did exactly the same crime.
That's right.
Well, it's the color and power of your thoughts. And basically, Jermaine, you are telling us that we must think good thoughts and positive thoughts and feed that into our lives in this book. When we return from this break, we're going to talk to him about his music and his brand new CD. You're watching Shelf Life. We'll be right back. And now it's time for the Carlong's Pick of the Week. This week, we're looking at the revision guide for junior science. That time of year again when parents and students get all anxious because GSAT is just around the corner. But Carlong's has a number of great resources, and this is just one of them. The book is well laid out with tips for students as well as for parents and teachers. It is divided into 4 main sections: the essentials of life, living things, energy forces and machines, and weather and climate. The Junior Science Revision Guide uses a mix of easy to understand tables, charts, colorful pictures, diagrams, and even cartoon characters to keep your child's interest in the subject, and which child doesn't enjoy a good puzzle. You can use the revision guide at home with your child, or better yet, get a group of students together who are studying for GSAT and go over these wonderful activities with them. So ask for it in your nearest bookstore. It's the Carlong Revision Guide, Junior Science. And that's the pick of the week. Carlong publications are available in bookstores island-wide. Carlong Publishers, the #1 name in local textbook publishing. Shelf Life is brought to you by Jam Copy, Protect, Respect, Access, Jamaica Business Journal, relevant, insightful, informative, Talawa Magazine for the latest news in culture and the arts, and Bookophilia, live inspired. You just saw some clips from the pre-launch of Lord I Surrender by Jermaine Gordon, who is our guest in studio tonight. And on the shelf, he has a book, The Color and Power of Your Thoughts, and he also has his first CD, which is Lord I Surrender. And Jermaine, tell me about the making of the CD.
Well, quite a task. I really wanted to produce music and songs that the church could sing. So the theme really behind this is let the church sing.
Okay.
And as an initiation process, I thought of using the title Lord I Surrender. It has 13 tracks, songs written in English as well as in Swahili.
So, whoa, stop right there. Swahili, you speak Swahili? Or is the song just in Swahili?
The song is in Swahili.
That's okay, because I have some African songs I sing to in African, so.
I really do like foreign language, so I do write quite a bit in foreign languages as well.
Let's talk about this song that's in Swahili. It's God is Good. I'm not going to try and pronounce
Mungu yu mwema.
Mungu Yomwema.
Yes.
So Mungu is God.
Yes.
Okay, and Mwema is good.
That's right.
All right, so if I can't do anything else in Swahili, I can say God is good. What gave you the inspiration to do this, to write the song in Swahili?
I had a friend, I met a friend about 2 years ago. She's from Kenya.
Okay.
And she just loved the book that I did, and she loved my music. And so I said, well, I would love to speak to your nation in my first CD. And so already that song is being done in Kenya right now.
Goodness.
Yes, they're doing it in their worship services in the church.
That is awesome.
Yes.
That is awesome. The songs I know from here are If I Trust Your Hands, which is on YouTube.
Yes, yes.
That's the one that's really big on YouTube now.
That was the first single.
Yes, and playing on the airwaves. And Lord, I Surrender, which I've also heard on radio. What is your inspiration for writing this music, though? I mean, who are you trying to get to? Because some of our artists write music for the audience to save people. Some write it for the Christian to uplift them. Who is your target? What's the inspiration behind your music?
I'm writing really for just about anybody who appreciate good music.
Okay.
I'm writing for the music director. I'm writing for the choir director. I'm writing for the worship team or the worship leader. I'm writing for the church. I'm writing for somebody who just wants to listen to some good music while traveling, you know. Somebody who just wants to read a book, and while they're reading the book, they want some music in the background, you know.
Shackles Are Broken.
Ah.
Shackles Are Broken. Tell me about that song.
That one really is about recognizing that you are at a place now that you are. Before I do that, actually that song was written at a youth camp.
Okay.
It's one of those songs that I call the spirit songs. We were at the altar at the end of the service, and the song just came. We sang the song right there, and persons just had their shackles broken. You know, I am delivered, the word says. My shackles are broken. I've been set free. And so it's a recognition that there are persons who, I think I would say that it's one of the worst case scenario to be in, where you're free and you're not aware of it.
Oh,
you know,
okay.
your shackles are broken, yet you're acting as though you're still
because you don't even know.
Yes. So the song really is saying, recognize it, grab a hold of it, that you are indeed free, and live like you're free. And
live like you're free, no longer a bondsman. Who are some of the people on this album with you?
I have several of the Jamaican artists on it. I have Judith Gale.
Okay.
She did Or Daddy Likes It.
Or Daddy Likes It, yes.
I have Dawn Martin, that's her favorite. She did Worship Elohim. Ryan Berry also did Stubborn Man.
Yes, love Ryan.
And I have a choir there that I put together to really sing my songs. They're called the St. John 1010 Choir.
So they are the backup?
Yes, yes.
The St. John 1010 Choir is the backup for your album. And you've written all the songs here, produced them all yourself.
That's right.
All mastered in Jamaica?
It was actually mastered in New York.
Okay.
But recorded and mixed here in Jamaica. In fact, I used 6 different studios because I wanted a particular sound per track. And so I traveled around to some of the best studios here in Jamaica to do each track, you know. And I used.
How long did it take you?
I would say about 2.5 years.
Ah. You know, it's funny, but you don't realize how much goes into the making of a CD. People say a CD come up, and you have a lot of up and coming who just want bust a tune, and you know them have a song and them just decide to me go bust this tune, and they feel it happens overnight. You know, between having the lyrics and having the music and getting it done, but it really is a process.
It is.
And when you're doing spiritual music, it's even a deeper process, isn't it?
Quite a bit going to the writing, to the arranging, the production of it, you know.
Okay, well, you're watching Shelf Life, and we are getting a taste of some music from Jermaine Gordon, his new album, Lord, I Surrender. When we come back, we'll have a little discussion. Shelf Life is brought to you by Jam Copy, Protect, Respect, Access, Jamaica Business Journal, relevant, insightful, informative, Talawa Magazine for the latest news in culture and the arts, and Bookophilia, Live Inspired.
This week's Top 10 bestsellers brought to you by Bookophilia and OrganoCoffeeGuy.com. Independent distributor of Organo Gold coffee and other fine products made with 100% organic Ganoderma extract. For more information, visit OrganoCoffeeGuy.com. This week's Top 10 Bestsellers brought to you by Bookophilia and OrganoCoffeeGuy.com. Independent distributor of Organo Gold coffee and other fine products made with 100% organic Ganoderma extract. For more information, visit OrganoCoffeeGuy.com.
Welcome back to Shelf Life. We're talking with Jermaine Gordon, author of The Color and Power of Your Thoughts, and the gentleman behind Lord, I Surrender. And we have some guests with us in the studio who are going to be picking his brain and sharing with him about his CD and his book.
Hi Jermaine. Hi. Now I really have to ask you, what inspired you to write about injustice?
It really is one of those issues that highlight the imperfection of man. And even with the best effort, sometimes we issue the justice in a discriminatory way. Sometimes without even knowing.
Yes.
You know. And so I felt that it is because it is such an integral part of who we are and how we relate to one another.
Yes,
it needed to be included in this first book.
And it reminds me about how our society is nowadays, and a lot of times you think that there is one justice for the quote unquote big man and that there is one for the small man. Yes. So that's really what stood out in my mind about injustice. What is considered wrong or right sometimes depends on the person who did it. Yes. So what I recognize is that mostly in the book they're just positive thoughts, thoughts that really inspires, and that's one of the things I love about the book.
Right. The reason why I went that route is because we are already bombarded with so many negatives. The next minute from now you might get another negative news, and so there needs to be more creations and more productions that are encouraging and promoting more positive thinking. Not just positive thinking in isolation, but positive living,
And then look at this one. Read the signs carefully.
Caution.
Caution. Warning, primates, that is monkeys, are highly intelligent and are capable of inflicting serious injury when teased or harassed.
Yes.
Wow, read the signs carefully. A lot of times we go into the zoo and we love to bother the monkeys because they seem so, they're so fun and so jumpy. And then we go and we bother them and then we get a slap or something. So caution, it really tells us to read the signs carefully.
It is interesting how our life progress based on whether we ignore or pay attention to the signs that life actually are highlighting to us,
Yes.
Okay, so what about the church?
There's actually one in there in the church. There's one about the church.
Yes.
The church.
What about it? What were your thoughts when you wrote about the church?
It says, I think it says the church opens its doors or its arm to a sinner who becomes a Christian, but oftentimes drives away a Christian who becomes a sinner.
Okay.
Because we sometimes become confused. I don't know if that's the right word, but we make this effort to win someone, but we don't put the similar amount of effort or resources into keeping that person.
Okay.
Quite often when you win the disciple, sometimes you ignore that person.
Right.
And I'm sure the cost of maintaining cannot be compared to the cost of replacing,
Okay, so you're relating to like mentoring, motivating and empowering.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
That's right.
All right. Yes. I would just like to look at your CD. You have the CD, Lord, I Surrender. I tell you, the tracks, I have listened to them and they are so inspiring. But there's one that jumped out at me, Shackles Are Broken. How did that one come about, and what was the inspiration like? How did you write this
Shackles Are Broken is a favorite everywhere.
Yes,
because it was actually composed at a youth camp.
Okay.
Youth camp in 2010, back in Mayday, Manchester, right at the altar. It was written.
Okay.
And really just capturing that we have been set free.
Right.
So just embrace that. I've been set free.
And what about my number one? It just stands out really because it's a number one track and it's called My Number One. And then it's like
the inspiration for that song actually came at the fast food restaurant. I was there ordering and I looked at the number one menu and I said, I wonder if there's anything particular about which menu make it to be number one.
Okay, interesting.
And I really just concluded that God desires to be number one in our lives and nothing less.
Yes.
Yes. I just want to touch a bit on the title track, Lord, I Surrender.
That's also one of the favorites.
Yes.
It's beautiful. It speaks to the three most powerful things within us, our desires, our intention, and our worship.
Okay.
Yes. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hate to cut short this great discussion about Lord, I Surrender. To hear the music yourself, you're gonna have to buy the CD. And to get those powerful thoughts, you also have to buy the book. The book is The Color and Power of Your Thoughts, and the CD is Lord, I Surrender by Jermaine Gordon, who was our guest here today on Shelf Life. I want to thank our sponsors, the Jamaica Business Journal, Book Ophelia, who is our home, the Organo Coffee Guy, and Talawa Magazine. I'll see you again next week when I'll have another author, and I'll take you back to the bookshelf for some more Shelf Life.
We never get to say where the book is actually.
Shelf Life is brought to you by Jam Copy, Protect, Respect, Access, Jamaica Business Journal, relevant, insightful, informative, Talawa Magazine for the latest news in culture and the arts, and Book Ophelia, live inspired. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been watching Shelf Life. I'll see you again next week, same time.